Giano Monday for the Tennessee Volunteers as they beat the Rutgers Scarlet Knights in Las Vegas. First game of I guess, the Las Vegas Classic, whatever they're calling this. I'm not quite sure. I should know that, but they won their first game in 3 days out in Vegas, 85-60 against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights to improve to 6-0 on the year. Nate Ament and Jacoby Gillespie combined for 52 of the 85 points. Gillespie 32, Ament 20. More on that in a second, but let me bring in Matt Dixon to get his thoughts on things. This is Matt and Brian on the Garza Law Firm Basketball OT on the Tony Basilio Network. And Matt, welcome in.
Yeah, just a fun game. Offense was great there in the first half with Gillespie and Ament. Probably one of the better offensive games that you'll see this team play all season. Gillespie was just on fire there in the first half. Ament was really good. Everything was just kind of clicking, and you just dominated an inferior team. Were able to empty the bench and kind of tinker with things and try some things out there for much of the second half and still win by at least 20, which is what they kind of capped the scoring at for this tournament. So a whole lot of fun. Did a lot of things well. Estrella and Boswell came back, which is good to see. I'm not sure you needed them today, but you at least got them out there, and you got a big game against Houston coming up. Hopefully, this officiating crew does not do that game because that would turn into a free throw shooting contest. But soft rims out there in Vegas should be a high scoring and fun tournament to watch.
Yeah, and speaking of that, Houston tomorrow, 6 o'clock Eastern Time on TNT Networks, and we'll have a post game when that one goes final. As today, it's Tennessee 85. Rutgers 60 is the score. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back to begin the caller festivities right after this.
You're tuned to Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime, presented by Marcos Garza and my Garza Law Firm and your Garza Law Firm. Folks that live, work, worship with us, play with us in our community, work around us, not carpetbaggers. They're online at garzalaw.com. Your go-to law firm, DUI defense, criminal defense, personal injury, Social Security, disability, a myriad of other matters pertaining to the law. Don't play around. This is your life. Available 24/7 at garzalaw.com. Also, special shout out to our friends at WeShipFloors.com. We ship floors where the pricing's insane. The Supercore floor is the real deal Holyfield. And for right now, you're invited to head over to the website and take advantage through this holiday season. Ladies and gentlemen, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the sale. I'm talking about put the promo code Tony in and you'll get 45% off. Put the promo code NEGADAVE in for 35% off, and that's the sale going on through the holiday over at WeShipFloors.com. Shout out to Alan and the gang at We Ship Floors. Also, speaking of the holiday, ladies and gentlemen, my friends at Calhoun's, feed the family for the holidays. You got it. Hot and ready smoked turkey. Do you have a Feed 5 or a Feed 10 option? Or hot and ready smoked prime rib. It's all fresh, it's all delicious, and you'll get more at holidayfeedpacks.com. Again, holidayfeedpacks.com. All the information you need, and we're also presented by our friends at T3 Vodka. Score a T3 every single time with Tennessee's premium vodka. Handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka taking our volunteer state by storm. T3 Vodka. Handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, but a way of life. Filtered 10 times, 80 proof. A smoothness unmatched. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka. And the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat on the rocks or mixing your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka, your choice for a premium award-winning experience. Hit a T33 and ask for T3 Vodka by name at your local restaurant or at your wine and liquor store. Distributed by Athens Distributing, and please drink responsibly. And speaking of responsibly, let's now get back to more on your Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime.
Here we are, back to the activity as the Volunteers beat Rutgers 85-60 to improve to 6-0 in the year, and it continues the theme as the Vols made Rutgers look like one of the bye opponents that they played recently, so that wasn't much of a step up in competition, a little bit, but the Vols played so well that they made them look like the teams they've been playing as they win by a score of 85-60, as they win games by close to about a 30-point scoring margin. But let's get to our, as Matt will get to our first call right here and go to the TLD Logistics, the hotline here, as we welcome in our first caller. Who do we have? Good afternoon.
Hey, Bronny.
Hey, Rusty. How you doing?
I'm good, brother. Outside the MGM Grand Arena, saw a pretty good basketball team play. Non-efficient Nate suddenly has his 3-point percentage up to 33% on the year, and Jacoby Gillespie put on a first half show that had fans of neither team saying, wow, that team is big and fast and strong, and Rutgers doesn't know what hit them.
Too much size, too much everything. And Rutgers showed you why they lost to Central Connecticut State, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Rutgers had some loud fans, though. I was in front of about 10 rows in front of a bunch of Rutgers fans that were just nonstop, even down 30, were screaming to chip away, one possession at a time, and they weren't giving up. But I think their coach and their team knew it was over pretty quick.
How many fans do you think were there? Tennessee fans and just overall fans in the building?
We probably had 2,500, I'm guessing.
Not bad for a 10 a.m. start, local time.
Yep. Had Candace calling the game, and then bless her heart, she got stuck with Barbecue Bruce coming down there and having to sit next to her. Outside of that, she was fantastic. Best part of the day was getting to catch up with my old buddy Ben McKee.
All right.
Yeah, Ben got to hug his neck, and him getting to tell me that he is in remission is just the best damn thing that could have happened with this trip and this basketball tournament is get to see him and know he's got a clean bill of health. Bill of health, so great.
Yeah, we love Ben.
Yeah, best dude in Knoxville. No offense to anybody, any of you guys, but Ben's as good as they come. Yeah. The guys that I were hanging out with, they were all Montana guys, Montana State crowd that were just down here catching the tournament, and they all are going to they're going to be at Mandalay Bay at the other court tomorrow, and they were all like regretting their decision because they're like they want to be here for Houston, Tennessee tomorrow, and I don't blame them. That should be a fun one.
Now,
but I'll let you guys get to other people. I know you got people that are going to want to talk, and I'm going to get back in the arena and watch Kansas Notre Dame,
right?
and then.
They're
say again?
They're using this in 2 venues, right? They're playing 2 or 3.
The MGM Grand Arena, and then there's another set of games going over at Mandalay Bay.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah. Rusty, glad you had fun, and come back and do it again tomorrow.
We will be here tomorrow, brother.
Appreciate it. And Matt, this is a tournament that's set up and a little bit differently than what we're used to. It's not a bracket style, 8 teams, the winners keep playing, and then the winners advance, they play each other. This is one where you have to go out and you play 2 predetermined opponents, and then you play a third one based on, I guess, point differentials, quality of strength of win. What am I missing?
No, just your record, and then the margin of victory is the second one, and if it somehow you're tied after that, I think it's the points you scored, and then the next tiebreaker would be points allowed. So there's some value in winning and winning comfortably. They capped the margin of victory at 20, which Tennessee, still stayed ahead of. So, but no, it's a unique deal. It's obviously within this NIL area, it's there's some money involved for winning teams. So You get teams that are playing with a lot of effort, which it's interesting. You have a tournament like this and in one of these kind of arena deals, and then kind of the Maui tournament, the Maui Invitational there out in Hawaii is kind of on life support, which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, I hate that.
But that's just kind of this is what this new era is. I actually thought Candace Parker's really, really good on broadcast, knows basketball really well. And I didn't mind the 10 or 15 minutes her and Bruce were kind of having a Tennessee infomercial there. That was actually kind of fun.
Yeah, I like that as well. It brought back some really good memories. As I want to point out, Tennessee
VFL Big Gulp there, I think, doing the courtside announcing in the arena.
I think you're
as
right.
well.
Yes, he lives out there now. So
Tennessee royalty out there in Vegas right now.
It was like playing at home almost in a way. But I want to point out Tennessee did have close to a 36-point lead was their biggest lead. Is that right? So they win by 25. But I guess you pulled you pulled pretty much everybody and you put in a second team and maybe even a third team today. But let's get to our next caller and welcome in. Thank you for calling. Go right ahead.
Hey, what's up, Brian? What's up, Matt? It's Parker.
Hey, Parker. How you doing?
Hey, guys. Hey, no wonder we got a lot of VFL boys. That Allegiant flight out of Knoxville, I think it's round trip with no stop to Vegas. So I'm sure a lot of people took advantage of that.
Oh, yeah, that's absolutely.
And, Matt, you're right. I was cracking up, man. On the TV broadcast, I don't know if y'all saw, but, gosh, Bruce Pearl it looked like he had that Tennessee orange, that jacket on that he used to wear back in the day, that blazer. You know what I'm talking about? It wasn't maybe as dark orange as he used to wear, but, man, it looked like he was cheering on the balls today.
Well, yeah, why not? Why wouldn't he? He remembers. And
he's jockeying for that job, Brian. I think whenever the Deacon hangs it up in a couple of years, he may not want to be done coaching.
Well, that he could get refreshed. You never know. He might have a clean, like a second win, but it should be pointed out, Auburn is also out there playing in this event, and Alabama, but I don't think Tennessee would play either of those two. They're trying to keep the conferences separated.
Yeah, this is a weird format. I was trying to follow what you were saying about how you determine your third game. I don't know why they just didn't do like a Maui-type tournament where you have 8 teams and you just keep winning or losing. It doesn't really make any sense to me.
I still don't understand what they're doing with that. So you can explain it to me hundreds of times, and I'll never know.
Well, how about it, boys? Our 5-win SEC team, according to Negative, that we were going to barely beat this Rutgers team. How about it, guys? I mean, the sky is falling. We just beat Florida for the first time in 20-something years, and this terrible Tennessee team that's only going to win 5 games in the SEC just won by 30 points.
We squeaked by. I mean,
my God.
They did cut a 36-point lead to 25, so there's that.
And our transfer guard, what did Gillespie end up with, 34, 35 points?
32 points, 11 to 20 from the field.
How many rebounds did he get?
He had 4 assists and 3 rebounds. Not too bad.
He's starting to light it up, too.
Hey, Bishop Boswell, he played really well. He had 5 assists, 3 rebounds, played great defense, and he'd been out for a while. So him and Estrella, I couldn't think of the name. JP Estrella checked in, I think, about 6 or 7 minutes into the game, and Estrella only played, I don't think he played a ton of minutes, but he ended up, when he was on the floor, scoring 10 points.
Do y'all think it was smart to play Estrella today, or should we set him for tomorrow against Houston?
Let him get warm up against, a little bit of a team that's not going to challenge you much, so I don't have a problem with it. This is a 3-day event where you're playing 3 games in 3 days, so it might be – I don't think you're going to want him to play 25 minutes a night, but it sort of keeps everybody fresh over the 3 days because they need to. Remember, they just played Thursday, so they need to kind of spread everybody around.
Well, it's huge, guys. I mean, you get a win tomorrow, and you beat Houston. I think you're on the inside track to number 1 seed, just in terms of quality wins. The way you're playing today, it's going to be hard for any team in the country to beat you. I'm worried about what that chainsaw defense or buzzsaw defense Houston's going to expose Immense to, just because lack of experience. But we'll see. I'd be curious to see what y'all's thoughts on that Houston defense versus Immense tomorrow and Gillespie. Gillespie's a little bit more experienced, but I'll hang up and definitely want to hear other calls. And I just would love to see what Negative is going to be critical today about. So I hope he calls in and bashes this 30-point win.
We'll see if he's on hold here. Thank you for the call, Parker. And yeah, Matt, your thoughts about Houston? I have not seen Houston. Houston, by the way, plays Syracuse tonight. I think it's 6 p.m. So Tennessee's going to have a little bit of a advantage as far as just they played earlier in the day. Houston has to play at 6, so Houston's going to play at 6-6, and Tennessee 1-6. And Houston, ironically enough, plays Syracuse, who is on the schedule for the ACC SEC Challenge. Your thoughts on Houston, Matt? What he asked about them?
Yeah, not quite as good as they were last year. They have a few guys that are back, using the point guard. Emmanuel Sharp's a really good 3-point shooter. The Tugler guy is kind of like a stretch 4, maybe even they're big. I think he's back, but I haven't really watched them yet. But you don't have to watch Houston. You know exactly what you're going to get. They're very similar to Tennessee, just that really physical, grinded out defense that puts a lot of ball pressure on you, makes you earn things. They attack the glass, just relentlessly. We obviously saw that last year, unfortunately, but should be a really good test for Ament. But we'll see. I assume he'll struggle some against them to get good looks and to maybe attack the rim because they'll push him around and bang him around. But Gillespie, it'll be hard to top what he did today, but you need to lean on him. A guy like Jalen Carey, who didn't have a great game today, you need the physicality from him and Akpara in that game. But it should be a fun test for your team and early season game against a really, really elite program can only help you going forward, especially for guys like Ament.
Let's go back to the phone lines and see who we have on line 1. Welcome in.
Hey guys, Dave.
And speak of the devil.
I got no complaints today.
Dave, they were up 35. They only won by 26. So, I mean...
I got no complaints. The only thing I complain about is I think it's going to be pretty easy to get this down to about 9 guys. I think that's because I just don't see 77, and I don't see Berg. I see them only playing spot minutes going ahead.
Did Berg go back in the game
It's clear. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, did Berg go back in the game after the turnover where he left a bad pass for Estrella and Barnes chewed him out? He did late,
he got pulled out after he didn't take a shot. Yeah, he went back in. He didn't score.
No. But go ahead, Dave. Sorry to interrupt.
He's not. You can't, if you put any pressure on him while he's dribbling the ball, he can't handle the pressure.
I don't think he's quite used to the American game. I don't think he's used to the feel of the game yet in the USA.
Yeah, and I just think it's Boswell looks comfortable out there. Now he's not scoring, but he looks comfortable.
Yeah, he played really well today.
He's handling the basketball. He's rebounding. He's in the right spot. He's playing lockdown defense. And guys, let's face it, he's our 2 guard. And that's if you get, like I said, if you can get production from Ament like you did today, and Gillespie, well then that makes a big difference. But he's obviously the best. It's not even. What do you all think? It doesn't even look close to me.
Well, he actually could be a pretty good option at point guard if he handles the ball so well. Just had 1 turnover today. That'll work.
You talking about Boswell?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
For what Barnes wants in the defensive first, Boswell is clearly the best 2 guard right now. Absolutely. You're right. You'd like more scoring there, but if he can be be your best perimeter defender, rebound, and as Brian said, maybe have some spot duty at the point. That's really all you can ask out of him. You can't ask him to get you 10 or 12 points a night.
No, if he can give you 6 or 7 points a night, and then play defense, if he can give you that defense and give you the offensive production of a Meshack, then you can probably live with that. And I just when they didn't have one of the regular guys out there, there were Evans and 77 and Burt. None of them, even 24. I thought he was going to be a little bit better. They all just standing around looking for somebody to shoot. None of them, every one of them were afraid to take a shot.
They're like, well, what do? We don't have Amen or Gillespie in the game, so. Oh, you mean we have to shoot?
Yeah. Yeah, but when you get a wide open shot on the wing, you got to take it. And I can see why. I think Evans is probably a defensive first guy, and his offensive game is going to be, probably a 2 or 3, at least a second year deal before he gets that offense straightened out. But I don't have any complaints. They played really well today, and if they would have kept the record guys in there, they would have scored 100 and beat them by 50. But that's okay. Didn't you say you can only anything over 20 doesn't count?
I think that's right. Yes,
in this
right,
tournament?
Matt.
Yeah, correct. Yes.
Okay. All right, guys. Y'all have a great day. Let's pull up that upset tomorrow.
Yeah, we might.
We'll see y'all later.
Okay, Dave. He's just Dave today.
Positive post-game calls in a row.
Yeah,
season of Thanksgiving.
He's just Dave today. Let's go to our. Let's get our next caller in here and welcome in.
We got Joshy boy.
Hey, Joshy.
I saw where someone posted look ahead line. It is 3.5. Houston is favored against us tomorrow.
That's not surprising.
Yeah.
Now they play tonight at 6. By the way, just for everyone's info, they play Syracuse.
Yeah, gonna be an interesting watch. So, question for you guys: Would you guys be surprised at all most of the time this season if we out-rebound most of the teams we play? Because we got a lot of size to do that most of the time.
Yeah, they out-rebounded Rutgers. I think the final number was 39-24 by 15, and Tennessee was led in rebounding. I believe they were led in rebounding by Akpara and Phillips with 7 apiece, and Estrella had a couple. Carey had 5, and Evans had 4. Go ahead, Josh.
What about you, Matt? Would you be surprised at all?
No. This is by far the deepest front court Barnes has had here. You got a couple of guys. They each, not exactly the same type of guy. You got, Agpar is kind of the true center, and the other guys are, more a little bit maybe undersized, but battle and can stretch the floor. All the bigs are really good passers, which is something I've noticed. They, all of them have had a couple of assists in games, which is really a nice kind of addition that they've obviously, I think they've probably worked on in the off season because Agpar didn't pass the ball a whole lot last year, so that's a really nice thing to have. I mean, even Ament's a pretty good passer, but you have a lot of depth there, so you can withstand kind of the foul trouble like you got in today in the first half. Was a non-factor. You have the bodies to do that. I think you're the top offensive rebounding team in the country. I mean, at this point in the year, obviously the competition plays a role in that. So, yeah, you can lean on that a lot. It's, you're kind of front court heavy right now, and you've got a really good, veteran point guard who's just been a winner everywhere he's been dating back to high school. So once he gets comfortable, running some sets with these guys, some of the alley-oops and things that he's not used to, your offense is only going to get better.
What do you guys think about JP's performance today? 10 points, and it looked like the knee looks fine. He only missed one shot, and he had a dunk, and he looked like he could get up. He didn't lose his hops or anything like that, and only played 10 minutes, but that's really all you need him to play. And I was surprised to see him check into the game. I thought, well, he's available, but they won't put him in there today. Maybe they put him in by Wednesday, because I wonder how smart is it with that kind of injury to play 3 straight days in a row. But with only 10 minutes, and then again, he adds to the depth right now. But he was only one of 4 players to score in double figures, and he got to 10 points pretty quickly. So I would say he had a pretty efficient 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And
out the door, something negative was crapping on Ament. Ament was 4 of 6 from the 3-point land, so that's a very big positive from today.
He looked very good. His stroke looked very good. Thanks, Josh. We're going to take our second time out here of the show, so load them back up, and we'll get right back with you on the other side of this.
We'll get you back momentarily to another action-packed episode, or this action-packed episode of Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime, presented by Marcos Garza and the Garza Law Firm, online at garzalaw.com. Special shout-out to our friends at TLD Logistics, who provide your phone activity. My friends at TLD Logistics are online at tldlogistics.com. Whatever your shipping need, TLD Logistics has you covered. Also, a special shout out to Waterside Contracting. Maybe you have a dream. Maybe, this wintertime you're starting to think, I need to buy some land. I need to build on it. Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true for hundreds in our area. Whether it's custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Check out the website, Waterside Contracting, LLC.com. That's Waterside Contracting, LLC.com. Quality without compromise, Waterside Contracting. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, look, you're not going to run. You're not going to walk. You're going to run. That's what I'm trying to say to Walker's Painting. Walker's Painting, interior and exterior. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999 across our Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard about it right here on Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime. 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run. Don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting. You can check out the link if you forgot the number on our website over at tclub.team. And one other note for you before we get you back to the action. Living Vol fan, make Alumni Hall your one-stop shop for the Vol fans on your shopping list this holiday season. Come on, there's nothing better than your favorite Tennessee gear under the tree, whether it's a nice polo shirt or a new hoodie or something for that man cave. Pop in and see my friends at Alumni Hall, and pop your friends with something new from Alumni Hall, the best selection of Tennessee gear. Alumni Hall, 3 Knoxville locations, also in Bristol, Johnson City, Murfreesboro, and alumnihall.com. It's easy to have a big orange holiday. Happy holidays from everyone at Alumni Hall, the ultimate Vol shopping experience. And now let's get back to another award-winning, action-packed episode of Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime.
Thank you, Tony, as that's what we got here. Garza Law Firm Basketball Overtime as Tennessee beats Rutgers 85-60, their first game in Las Vegas. Game 2 is tomorrow afternoon, actually evening at 6 Eastern against Houston. I believe that is on TNT as well, as Kansas and Notre Dame about to tip off. Baylor and Creighton are tied late second half, those games being played in Vegas. Also this week, Matt, the Maui Invitational is getting underway. That is tonight through Wednesday, and I guess they still have that thing in Atlantis that'll start later on in the week. So this is probably one of my favorite weeks of the college basketball season, if we're totally honest about it. These events that are around the country are pretty cool, just to see different teams play in a tournament-style format.
Yeah, you get some unique matchups that you normally wouldn't get. Although I guess Tennessee's kind of played, I think like Kansas and Purdue, Tennessee's played a number of times over the past 10 or so years. But no, they're fun matchups. You get neutral site deals, which helps for the net ratings for both teams with all that. Not the biggest fan of that, but I like the neutral site tournaments in basketball a whole lot more than the one-off neutral site games in football. So, but yeah, there's a lot of fun games to watch in these tournaments.
I like the neutral tournaments more than I like the neutral site basketball games. I thought that was where you were going to go, and I think playing a team on campus is a little bit better than on some kind of sterile, even if it's in your state. But I understand you want to take care of the folks in Nashville. And let's go to our next caller. Speaking of which, let's go to, sounds like Lee.
what's up, guys?
Speaking of Nashville, there we go.
Yeah, man. I mean, for like basketball junkies, this is like the best thing except for the actual tournament. I mean, if you like to watch teams like San Jose State, play Samford in like Missoula, Montana, in a ballroom somewhere, it's pretty awesome. Like these things, there's like 100 of these things going on all across the country. It's pretty cool, but. There was like a little documentary thing with the guys that organized this Players Eras thing, and they said, their goal was to try to bring in like the common fan. And I go, if that was your goal, why did you come up with this ridiculous format? Like, why didn't you bracket this thing up like a normal, regular person,
I don't know. It's just a weird. It seems like it's almost something you do for soccer or something like that than a basketball tournament, because basketball is a formatted tournament kind of sport.
Yeah, it's really odd, but I mean, as far as the format goes, I mean, Tennessee's in good shape. Like, they did what they needed to do today and won by margin. So, I think they've got a good shot against Houston tomorrow. If they can get that win and get into 2-0, they're in real good shape. So, it was good to see Estrella back on the floor today. I didn't think we were going to see him, so that was a pretty big deal, I thought.
How do you see the Houston line, Lee, that matchup? Do you think the 3.5 is? I heard Houston is a 3.5 point favorite. That's about right on a neutral floor.
Yeah, I saw it at 3.5 this morning. I don't know if it's moved at all the last throughout the day or anything like that. But yeah, actually, I thought it was like maybe a point too high. I was surprised they were giving Tennessee more than a full possession. I think Tennessee's really live in that game tomorrow. I think I like Tennessee. I think they're going to win the game. Houston is going to be really good in March. I think they've got a ways to go right now. They've introduced like 3 freshmen that play in a lot of minutes for them. Now they're really, really good freshmen. The Kingston Flemings kid has sort of come out of nowhere, and he's playing point guard for them, and he's really fun to watch. He's really good. That's going to be a hell of a matchup between him and Gillespie tomorrow. But what that's done to Houston is it's taken like Milos Uzon off the ball, and kind of their roles are the chemistry's not really there for them right now. Normally Houston teams are like top 5 in offensive rebounding, and they're outside the top 50 so far this year, and they haven't really played anybody. So, ironically enough, Tennessee is first in the country in second chance points, first in offensive rebounding percentage. So I think Tennessee can probably beat them up a little bit inside tomorrow. Defensively, they're still really good. They're going to pressure the ball a lot with their length and stuff. But I think Tennessee has a pretty sizable advantage, I think, inside on them tomorrow for sure. So, yeah, I think it's a good matchup. Houston shoots a ton of threes. Like, they're heavily three-point reliant, and when they're not shooting threes, they've tried to plug Tugler into that Juwan Roberts role, and he's not really Juwan Roberts. So, I think it's a good matchup for Tennessee, actually, tomorrow. So.
How many people do they play? What's their rotation like? They will play 10 guys, 8 guys?
Yeah, they've been playing about 10, 11 guys so far every game this year. So it's a good mix of young guys, like I said, freshmen, and like some experience on it. So it's going to be a really good team. I just don't think they're there yet. So it's a good matchup for Tennessee tomorrow, I think. I think Tennessee's in good shape.
Well, we'll see. And then what's possible? I know Houston plays Syracuse now. They wouldn't have Tennessee play Syracuse or someone like that they're playing later on in about a week, right? Would they do that, or they can't put them against conference?
I think they would, actually. Yeah, they're not concerned without a conference matchups. They're going to bend the rules if they have to avoid any conference matchups, unless the top 2 teams that get seeded are in the same conference. Like, if Tennessee and Bama are the top 2 teams, then they will play for the championship.
No, that'll
but
be
otherwise. Otherwise, they won't allow that to happen in any of the other day 3 games.
Well, really, anything else?
No, Houston's probably going to roll Syracuse tonight. Syracuse hasn't played anybody, and they're like the worst free throw shooting team in the country, and they played the easiest schedule so far in the country. They're ranked like 365 out of 365, so. It's probably going to be really low scoring, and Houston probably takes care of them pretty easily. But the Alabama-Gonzaga game out there tonight's the one to watch. That one's going to be really fun up and down the court. So I
don't think Rutgers is going to pose too much of a threat based on what I saw today. Unless they...
Rutgers is really bad. It's them and Penn State are the 2 dregs bottom of the Big Ten this year. So yeah, that's a really bad basketball team.
That's where Freddie DeLeon plays. I think.
Yeah,
still.
he's at Penn State. Yeah, he's at Penn State. Yeah, and he's probably their best player this year.
And
yeah.
that ought to tell you something, I guess. Well, anyway, Lee, I appreciate it.
All right.
Okay,
All right,
thank you
guys.
for the call. As the number to call in on is 865-200-5402. Brian and Matt doing Garza Law Firm basketball OT as the Vols beat Rutgers 85-60. Let's take our next call and welcome in to our next caller.
Hey, it's Andrew Marable. Appreciate y'all doing the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, great first half. I think that was something we saw a lot last year when we'd have those games where Lanier would, make 4 or 5 in the first, and we just jump out to one of those big leads. Really, really good to see. I think we started to see that against Tennessee State. We had probably our best first half of those kind of 5 bye games to start the season. So I'd like to get that fast start. One thing I'm looking to watch tomorrow, I think with obviously the great performance, you're going to start seeing pressure on, Gillespie and Ament that we haven't maybe seen yet. I think you're going to start seeing, like Dave talked about, Berg and Abram probably get phased out, especially against Houston with the way they turn the ball over. And I think that's probably going to mean we're going to have to start playing a little inside out more with our bigs. It was good to see Estrella out there looking healthy. I think tomorrow's probably the first time we need to probably change our offense up a little bit, create some offense inside out.
Yeah, and they look capable with their depth of doing that, and it's Estrella just seems like the offensive guys down low don't have problems getting shots up. They can get a shot. They don't have to struggle and work like we have in the past to get a good shot, Matt. Is that what you see?
Yeah. And you have multiple options. And like I said earlier, your bigs have been pretty good passers so far this year. So that's another added element. Barnes always likes to get that paint touch every possession. So I do think you can definitely play inside out a lot more this year than you've been able to recently, where we just really haven't had a real inside scoring threat outside of kind of lobs and putbacks. So that is something this team I think has that the past couple of Barnes teams just haven't had is inside scoring. And then obviously, Ament's got the ability to attack the rim and get to the free throw line as well. So yeah, you definitely have more scoring options. So it will be interesting against Houston how that game. I just hope the officiating allows the game to flow and be a watchable game and not just turn into a foul fest.
Yeah, that's one thing you have to be concerned about. And I guess they the crew today did kind of drag the game on longer than maybe it should have in a game that was out of hand like that.
Do we know where those refs are from? What conference?
I honestly don't. Yeah, I was going to wonder. I was wondering that myself, but I don't. Yeah. So.
Yeah, they're going to have to get somebody who's refereed us or Houston a decent bit because that'll get ugly. One thing I've noticed this year, and I think it's worked our benefit, especially in March, is Ament's kind of built for the NBA game in the way that he operates in the mid range and is good at drawing contact. And they've added it this year where it seems like they're calling a lot more of those kind of foul baiting type of fouls, and they're giving some of the continuations on the and ones. I think that's something that's going to really be key down the stretch to create some offense. Ament really good at getting to the line, and obviously he makes a good bit of them.
Yeah, and they gave Rutgers one of those, I think, today in the second half, early, I think. Yeah. It looked like there was a foul 3 seconds
They gave
before
Ament
the shot
that they didn't call a travel on him when he clearly traveled. They're kind of being a little more liberal with that.
He took about 4 steps, it looked like.
Yeah, he did. Other thing I want to see, and we kind of saw it against Duke, Gillespie hasn't had to finish at the rim a ton this year, but when he tried to against Duke in that exhibition with all their length, he really struggled. I think he had a couple of his shots blocked. He hit like a floater early, and then I don't think he finished at the rim against them again that game. Houston's got, Tugler and Cenax. They got a 5-star freshman down there, good shot blocker. I'll be interested to see what Gillespie can do in the paint because he kind of struggled against Duke.
Yeah, the Gillespie didn't seem to have any problem. He can get in the half court. He can get to the rim in the half court game. So that's encouraging to see. And I think defensively, I liked how Tennessee pretty much shut them down on the half court defense for the most part.
Yeah, Candace was talking about the length that we've got. It's just having a man at the 3. That's 7'2" wingspan at the 3. You just don't ever see that. We've had Chaz or Meshack or Gainey at the 3 all these years. Having that is just game changer.
And Boswell, he He played great defense, I thought. I mean, literally great defense. Not good, great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. All right, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for doing the show.
Well, we appreciate you from Maryville, and we will – I think what I'll do is I'll take our third break of the afternoon and our third and final one. So we'll probably try to go on about an hour or so. Anyway, load up the phone lines, 865-200-5402, and we'll be back on the other side for one more segment.
Going to get you back momentarily to this exciting, action-packed episode of Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime, presented by my man, Marcos Garza, and your Garza Law firm, online at garzalaw.com. Whatever you need in matters of law, they've got you covered at the Garza Law firm, online at garzalaw.com. Pop over there. They're available 24/7 at garzalaw.com. Also, shout out to our friends at Calhoun's. They are, ladies and gentlemen, the taste of Tennessee. Remember, the Feed the Family for the holidays. Holiday packs are available for you. Special shout out, ladies and gentlemen, to my friends at VIP Play. You bet $20, you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code and the phrase that pays is TN Tony. Again, TN Tony. VIP Play live always. 200 plus leagues, numerous bet types, props, options. If you have a bet in mind and you can't find it on your book, check out VIP Play, because everybody gets treated like a VIP over at VIP Play. Gambling problem, 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee, to place a bet. Shout out to our friends at Connexial, Knoxville's own transportation logistics tech company. Proud sponsor of the My20 Drive of the Game. What's it gonna be tonight, or have we announced it already? Connexial, your transportation platform as a service, revolutionizing your trucking industry nationwide. The goal is to help your fleet be more efficient, make drivers, make our roads safer, take control of your fleet, improve your safety scores, and make drivers happy. Shout out to Wichita Ken, Kristen, and the whole gang. They will treat you like family, because they are family. KONEXIAL.com. KONEXIAL.com. Speaking of family, the guy that keeps it insured here in the Rainier studio is Josh Collins. Through Erie Insurance, everything from pillar to post in here, our entire setup is insured through Josh Collins and Erie Insurance. You will experience the Collins Insurance difference online at collinsinsuranceTN.com. And when it's time for us to go for dose, we don't go for trace, we go for dose. We reach for an ice-cold Dos Equis. Dos Equis Lager Especial, the Golden Pilsner style beer made from the choice of hops. A balanced composition, smooth, clean finish. Party guest, always invited, never overstays his or her welcome. A Golden Pilsner style beer, nuanced blend of malts and earth tones. You gotta taste it to believe that. Go for Dos Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York. And a special shout out to my friends at Performance Medicine. How do we keep these hours? How do you do it, Tony? How you're just crazy. I mean, it's nuts. You're working so hard. I don't know about all that, but I'll tell you this right now. My friends at Performance Medicine, you want to take control of your wellness? You want personalized health solutions that'll fit your life? You want an approach to medicine that puts you first? You want comprehensive, proactive solutions empowering you to achieve optimal health on your terms? You want Performance Medicine. Online at performancemedicine.net, and check out their YouTube channel over at Performance Medicine. And now, without further ado, let's get you back to today's edition of Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime.
Thank you, Tony, Brian, and Matt in for today's edition of the Basketball Overtime, presented by the Marcos Garza Law Firm. And Tennessee beats Rutgers 85-60 as the Vols led from pretty much start to finish. They were led in scoring by Jacoby Gillespie with 32 points. He was 11 of 20 from the floor, 6 of 10 from 3, and he seemed to go through a stretch where he just couldn't miss. He got 32, a career high for Gillespie. Nate Ament followed him up with 20 on 7 of 14 from the floor. Other double-figure scorers, Felix Akpara 10, and J.P. Estrella, who comes off a bone bruise injury on his knee, scores 10 points. He was the fourth double-figure scorer, and I believe in the first half, those were the only 4 players who scored. Later in the game, Dwayne Brown and Jalen Carey got in the act with 4 points apiece. Cade Phillips had 3, and Bishop Boswell also had 2 points to go along with his 5 assists and 3 rebounds. Akpar and Phillips led the team in rebounding with 7 apiece, and assists were Jacoby Gillespie with 4. Bishop Boswell led the team in assists with 5. So shout out Bishop. Tennessee shoots 31 of 61, just a tick over 50% from the floor, and 11 of 22 from three, 12 of 17 from the free throw line. They had only 12 turnovers and 18 assists, and they out-rebound Rutgers 39 to 24. Let's take our next caller, and as we bring in Dave in Ackworth.
Hey guys,
Dave, welcome in.
Today?
Happy Thanksgiving, Dave, and to everybody.
Hey, you too. You too. Hey, I'm gonna ask you guys a couple of questions here because I'll be honest, I was in the air during the entire Tennessee-Houston Elite Eight game, which in retrospect was probably the best place for me, and I couldn't watch the game. I'm really the one thing that worries me about tomorrow is their on-ball defense against us and how well we handle that. I think it's going to be a great test early to see because the turnover thing is what scares me, and can they put enough ball pressure to really get us out of our rhythm? But tell me about the game last year. Was it just our complete inability of hitting shots that caused the complete meltdown, or did do you see? I know the teams are completely different, but the coaching is going to be the same. I mean, the coaches are going to be similar. So let's. I just want to try to figure out. What. Am I going to expect to see anything similar, or what can we avoid that we did in the Elite Eight game? Is it simply a matter of just hitting our shots, which we didn't do?
Well, Matt, I think also they had trouble getting shots up against that kind of length, if I remember correctly, and asking us to go back and recount that is like, I don't know, trying to go through a root canal or something because it's pretty painful. But Matt, what do you remember most about that?
Yeah, that game was over by like the under 8 timeout of the first half. I mean, I think Tennessee had 15 points at halftime and kind of went on a run late just to get there. They just couldn't make shots. Like Brian said, they couldn't get good looks. They settled for a lot of deep contested threes, if I remember, and just didn't make them. I actually, surprisingly, I don't think turnovers were a huge issue, but certainly Houston's ball pressure just really affected us. The physicality, getting off screens and things. We just didn't get good looks, and when we did, we just didn't make them. And then they just cleaned up on the glass, and we didn't, just didn't get chances to get good shots. And they made their shots early and just got out to a huge lead, and it was kind of a non-competitive second half. But yeah, we'll see what Lee brought up a good point. Houston's breaking in a lot of newer players. So Tennessee, even though Tennessee is as well, you have a veteran point guard and some other guys that you hope you can lean on, because I do think Ament will probably struggle some. But that game last year was just a brutal game to watch, and Tennessee just didn't handle that well at all.
And I would say, the one thing I watched a good part of one of the Houston's games against whoever they were playing wasn't very good, but they seemed very 3-point heavy, and now they were good at it. They were extremely good at shooting the three ball, but I didn't see a whole lot of post presence against a team that they really could have dominated down low, and I thought that might be someplace where we could actually attack them, maybe physically. I don't know if they lost players. I know they have one. It looked like that was a pretty imposing figure, but they don't have two or three guys. And I look at this team, I look at our team, and say, the one thing that just keeps jumping out at me, I think we have elite players at 3 levels, which I don't think we've ever had. I don't think Barnes has ever had an elite post player in Estrella. And really, I think Okpara is pretty dang close to elite himself. But those two combined, especially, that's elite. You got the mid range with Ament, and you've got the guard shooting with Gillespie. I'm not sure we've ever had that at all 3 levels on the single Rick Barnes team. Maybe during the Grant Williams days, but I don't know if they were elite. I think Grant was elite. I think the other guys were good. But, I mean, to me, that's the difference in this team, where I don't know if you stop us in one phase, say from deep, and they play really good 3-point shooting defense against us. If it doesn't open us up elsewhere, that we can take advantage of, not just be okay, but take advantage of. To me, that's where I think we've got our best opportunity. When something's going bad, we've got somewhere else to go that's not just serviceable, but very good to elite. What do you guys think about that?
Well, and one thing I've noticed is they haven't had a game yet or a stretch yet where, and the competition does play in like this, but they've scored 85 to 95 in every game since the first one. And hopefully if they can, this might be a team that is immune to these long 5 to 6 minutes field goal scoring droughts that used to always plague Barnes' teams, especially in the last 3 to 4 years. And also they did that in just the worst possible time, just so that would get them beat and sort of end their season earlier than maybe it should have.
Yes, that's true, and that's why I think this game tomorrow is a great test. It really gives us a good idea where we are, and where, although I keep saying it every time I call into the show that we're not going to know. I think we're not going to see our best basketball till mid-January, but it's going to be really good to see, because these are two teams that are both very good and very different from the way they were last year. So it's going to be a really good idea. It gives us a good idea of where we are. I'm just concerned if that turnover number gets to over 18, I'm really concerned about how this game ends up. But other than that, I'm pretty excited about it. So appreciate it, guys. Thanks for being on.
Thank you for the call there, Dave. We appreciate your call, 865-200-5402. We'll take this for we're closing in on an hour, so we'll probably wrap it up here shortly. But something else to keep an eye on, Cam Carr and Baylor are playing in Vegas. They're playing Creighton. Carr has 17. Baylor leads Creighton 75-70 with 37 seconds to go. Kansas has taken a lead over Notre Dame 20-15 midway through the first half. Houston plays Syracuse later tonight at 6, and the Alabama and Auburn also representing the SEC in this event in Vegas. Matt, your thoughts about the other action going on in this tourney?
Yeah, Kansas is very much a work in progress there, but like a typical self team, they'll continue to get better and wind up probably one or two seed lines higher than the team probably should be, because Self's one of the best coaches maybe in college basketball history, especially in the regular season. But Notre Dame, another high scoring game out there. So obviously, if you're getting on VIP play, maybe hit an over or two of some of these games out there in this gym. I guess they're playing at the two separate ones, but it's a fun week. There's a lot of games going on. Obviously Cam Carr is gonna score a lot for Baylor, probably going to give up a lot too. So that's a fun game too with Baylor and Creighton, two teams that really lean heavy on offense. And but that, I think Lee said it, that Bama Gonzaga game will be one of the more fun watches of the week for sure.
Yeah, the early season. And I foolishly thought the game today would go under with for kind of a strange venue, and you just never know about shooting and the rims and depth perception, but that totally wasn't true, as I believe it did go over, maybe not by a ton, but there was enough scoring to get there. So we'll take one more call before we wrap it up. Let's go to our next caller. Welcome. I believe we've got Judd.
What's up, boys? How you doing, man?
Hey, how are you? Thanks for
doing
calling.
Good. That was an enjoyable watch. Kind of what I anticipated, but one thing that surprises me this season from past seasons is so far, since Barnes has been here, his teams to start the season are always way more polished than every single other person they play. And the other teams continue to progress all the way up to March, where this season, this might be the most talent and depth he's had, but it's the least polished team that I remember that he's put on the court other than his first season.
Yeah, and you knew what you had sort of with some key pieces the last couple years, maybe the last 2 or 3 years, and now this year you don't know as much, especially in the backcourt.
Yeah, the one criticism I still have of Barnes, where to me, basketball and hockey are probably the two sports that most rely on team chemistry. it's hard to form chemistry when you're yanking people off the court for a single mistake, because there's not a sport on earth where a person gets better on the bench than they do on the court or the field. When the player, hey, I'm all about, if a guy goes into business for himself and he does something stupid like a breakaway and he tries to do a 360 dunk and he breaks it, put that guy on the bench. But if a guy's trying to make a play for another player and he made a mistake, he knows he made a mistake and he won't do it again. Just leave him in the game to keep building chemistry. But that's my one criticism of Barnes that still irritates me to no end. But
he did that with Ament earlier, and they said that they commented about how he had him on the bench and was talking to him, and then he put Ament back in there, and he kind of went off there for a stretch. So it kind of went the other way this one time. It worked.
Yeah, but I think Ament's got the talent to overcome it. But somebody like Berg, Berg needs to be on the floor. He's not going to learn sitting on the bench. That's not going to happen. Now, poor Abram, I'm kind of scratching my head why that guy's on the team, but we'll see. And as far as I've heard a couple of people comment on officiating, and this game kind of proved what I've been saying for years, is people talk about officials, plural, and when officiating is poor, it's never all three guys. It's always one guy, but people just lump it in. So today, Christensen he's primarily a Big Ten ref, and I watch an unhealthy amount of basketball, and Big Ten basketball officiating is the worst officiated sport of any sport I've ever watched. I mean, it's embarrassingly bad.
Is there a reason, do you think, for that, or that you think that way, or maybe the reason why it is?
It's pay scale. It's what conferences pay the most money, and they lag far behind the SEC and the ACC as far as pay for a Power 5 conference.
They have the money. That's kind of weird to me.
It's not the conference that pays the officials. It's the individual schools.
Okay. Still.
But he was, so for example, I'm driving, so I don't have anything in front of me right now, but I'm going off the top of my head. I think there were 40 fouls called in today's game, and Christensen almost called half of them all by himself. Now he was the old white bald dude. And in the first half, all of his fouls were against Tennessee, not a single one for Rutgers. And so it just goes back, when officiating is bad, it's never the crew. It's always one guy who just goes off the rails. But you just hope when you're in a game like these tournaments, when you're going to get a mix match. So you had Owen Short, SEC guy, Christensen is a Big Ten guy, and the other guy was an ACC guy. These guys don't work together, so there's no chemistry in the referees either. You just hope you don't get a Big Ten ref, because they are horrendous.
Oh, wow.
All of them.
Well, they had 80 up there for years, and just pretty much, I guess you'd forget how to officiate if you see Zach Edey so many times.
Yeah, that's a good point. No, but overall, I'm looking for. I think it'll be an enjoyable game tomorrow. Looking forward to it, and I like the progress of this team, and just overall, I'm hoping this will be a Barnes team that we've not seen at Tennessee, where it continues to gel and progress, leading towards March.
Right.
Not show their best at the beginning of the season.
They looked awfully good today, but you don't want to peak too early.
They did.
But anyway, Judd, we appreciate it. Anything
All right,
else?
boys. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much, Judd. And Matt, I think I'm going to put a wrap on it as we're going to drop off here. We'll be back on tomorrow during the regular show, and then we'll also be back for another edition of the Garza Law Firm Basketball OT at 6 o'clock. As well, it won't be 6. The game's at 6, but we'll be on when that game ends, probably around 8 or so. So anyway, Matt, any final thoughts on this victorious Shiano Monday?
Just a really good win. Took care of business. Had Gillespie kind of showcase himself and put that out there. Ament had a really nice game. And good seeing Estrella and Boswell back and be productive players. So should be a lot of fun with Houston. I kind of like Tennessee's chances if they can make shots. But should be a fun game and a good learning experience for our team. And like Judd said, it's a really good point, because Barnes' team's the past number of years, especially with Ziegler running point, you kind of already been a seasoned team and you kind of know what you're getting. This team, there's a whole lot of development that potential there, and you have depth to do that as well. So it's a team that can win, I think, a couple of different ways. And their path to victory is kind of a little bit bigger than some of the previous couple of teams. So that should be a good sign and something that should give us hope throughout the season.
Matt, we appreciate it. We'll talk to you tomorrow. As Matt Dixon jumps off, I'm going to wrap it up. Brian Hartman for Tony, and we'll come back tomorrow on a victorious Schiano Monday. Tennessee beats Rutgers 85-60. They improve to 6-0. They take on Houston tomorrow at 6, and we'll be on following that one. Anyway, have a safe Monday, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
No, hold